What's up, you nerdy nerd with the PlayStation VR2 coming in the mail? You're like, oh, I want to make the most of this thing. I want to set up my space to fit room scale or something. I've only had it for a bit, but I have some tips and tricks or something that might help you out. Maybe seeing how my thing's arranged will give you some inspiration on what you should do for your own best practices. So, yeah, I should also say I'm very lucky to have lots of space. So this might not apply to everyone watching, but maybe to some of you. So yeah, here's what I got for tips. Alright, so first and foremost, I got a stand that is different than the one that PlayStation provides because there's no headset stand on theirs, which I think is kind of whack. I didn't want to have two separate things. I really like the other solutions that are online, such as this Dobe thingy. It's about the same price, maybe a little bit cheaper actually than what PlayStation has. The other main complaint for the PlayStation branded one is that apparently with the other systems it's a bit hard to find where they actually slot into place. These, this and other third-party ones use the same technology, the same little magnetic thingies that you clip in. But for this one, finding the sweet spot on that is just as easy as ever. And I actually do plug it into the PS5 only because I like to not always see these bright blue lights here when it's charged. If I put my PlayStation to sleep or whatever, it's gonna keep charging it while it's in rest mode. If I completely shut down the PS5, then it won't be charging it at all. So I just like that. Feels a bit cleaner to me, but this thing has worked fine. I really like it so much. And the next thing would be the headphones that are here. Yes, the PSVR2 does come with little earbuds that clip in, and they fit nice around the bottom. They slot in, and then you put your earbuds into here. I don't know about you guys, but I got real gross, waxy ears. I gotta clean my ears all the time. And if you've ever had friends over to try and play VR, no one wants to put that gunk in their ear. That's just disgusting. And the idea of this building up earwax over time and trying to clean that just seems disgusting to me. I'm sorry. You do you, but for me, that's horrid. That's just a horrid, terrible solution full of gunky, gross gucks. So I was very fortunate in that I already had a pair of headphones that worked pretty well. So these are from SteelSeries, and they get pretty big. And so I sort of have to put them at a little bit of an angle behind the headset, but these work great for two reasons. The first is that there's an individual volume control on here. If you are buying a headset for PSVR2, make sure that you have a volume control on the headset itself, because changing the volume, there is no volume rocker anymore like they had on the original PSVR1, so that sucks. You want to get headphones that do it, and then you just keep it at full volume on your system OS, and then if you want to bring it down on here, not a big deal. And I think in some cases it might override the microphone too. I'm not sure if you can change it in the settings, but this has a mic as well. I was very happy that I didn't have to use a separate TRS cable. It does work with TRS-S, so don't worry if you've got the tip ring sleeve, pre-made for your headphones. But what's nice about this particular one is if that didn't work, or if I just wanted to switch to regular TRS, there is a TRS jack here, but I like to stick with TRS-S one just in case, and also it's a good length. Some people online have said that you should get a shorter cable. They do sell on Amazon and other places like Monoprice or Newegg, very short TRS cables that you could use. I think that's only a good solution if you plan on plugging and unplugging the headphones in every time you put on the headset. It is great to not have that extra cable. You can see that might trip over the USB-C cable, but then there's also this extra TRS cable here going to the headphones. But I prefer having a slightly longer headphone cable because I just leave them plugged in at all times. Even the way that this sits on the stand, it does not obstruct the TRS cable, which is great. So when I have friends over, it's a lot easier to pick this up, put it on, and see there's still slack here. There's enough slack to then put on the headphones. And then it's just one less thing that they have to plug in, basically. One thing I would advise though, if you are going to use a longer headphone TRS cable like what I'm doing, take that cable and tuck it in your shirt. Especially if you're hopping into your racing rig like I've got, which I'll probably show in just a minute. First thing is this giant foam head that you see here. This is just nice to have nearby. It's by no means required, but it's nice to be able to take off the headset temporarily and toss it on that when you're checking your phone or having a drink or something like that. Make sure you have a cup holder nearby. And then I've got a fan up here in the corner. That's very important for some people with motion sickness. It definitely helps. You do not want that cable getting snagged as you're entering or leaving your racing rig, because that would suck. You know, we don't want to break our jacks. The other thing that you might notice under here, under my headphone stand, I have a bunch of just like little lens wipes, little cleaning wipes. I think that this is essential to have some sort of solution. I keep those there. I also keep in a drawer nearby, little Lysol wipes to get the inside of the piece here. I don't know if it's such a big deal on PSVR2, but I will say that the inside of the fabric material on PSVR1 completely deteriorated. I don't know. I think it was just cheap. This doesn't feel as cheap, but still disinfect anyways. The last thing I wanted to show over here is how I have the USB-C cable actually going. So rather than having going right into the PS5, I have it looped under this surround sound system and then hooked into the face. Reason being, if I were to step outside of the play zone, I would yank this a bit, and rather than breaking the USB-C port on the PS5, or worse, pulling the PS5 off of the counter, instead the headset will just, get yanked. I would say that it's a little bit nerve-wracking because this is hardwired into here. So you got to think, well, what would be worse, breaking your PSVR jack or possibly pulling your entire PS5 off? I don't know. Maybe I've got this wrong. Maybe it's better to just trust, that you'll yank it from your PS5. I guess it depends on where your PS5 is positioned in your place. Another thing to consider is just how much space you have in your play area. So I used to have a giant coffee table right around here that was super heavy, and I just got rid of it. I didn't really like it anyways. It took up too much space. And I picked up this little lightweight cheap ottoman here because I can toss it out the way when I'm playing. Same thing with this brown one here. I can toss that out the way. And I just barely have enough space for room scale VR, which is crazy to me to think that, because this place is relatively big compared to most like apartments. So there's a good chance that you're gonna have to move your furniture. And I would say it's not crazy to get some casters for your couch. They sell these things at Lowe's. You pop them one under each leg, and boom, you can, slide your whole couch around a lot easier. So yeah, that's it for the tips that I think of, or something like that. I'm not a real YouTuber, so if you like what I did there and got some use out of it, tell me something good in the comments and maybe I'll do more, but probably not. Also, sorry for the noise. There's a wood shop right there. So, okay, bye.